Sunday morning, guys. It is already on and popping over in TikTok. I got people in the chat. They already in. They already in giving their predictions on these games. But again, I am Kendrick the Sports Guy. This is TFG Sports Media, the Sunday morning sports show. Again, I am your host. I hope you all are having a great Thanksgiving weekend. Are you sick of the leftovers yet? Are you still eating on that turkey and ham and dressing and potato salad and casseroles? I know I'm not. I'm done. I'm cool on that. We didn't have a lot of that anyway, so I wasn't really feeling that. So again, I hope you are enjoying your family, friends, and we're going to continue enjoying some football because we had a whole lot of that going on this weekend. But again, you know the rules. When you come in the club, Kendrick, you got to like this live stream, subscribe to the channel. That is TFG Sports Media and Kendrick Sports Hustle. That's SPORTZ, HUSTLE if you haven't already. And also make sure if you like, comment. Don't be in the bushes. Don't be in there just watching and not saying nothing. Comment. Let us know so we can interact. So me and my good brother, who I'm about to bring on, KLTV Sports Director at the ABC affiliate in Tyler, Texas, my guy, Mr. Michael E. Coleman. Mike, how you doing? And happy Thanksgiving weekend to you. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing all right, Kendrick. Roll on as you are rolling along. You kicking butt, dude. I'm proud of how you making things happen. And for those of you out there who are absorbing all of this, y'all making that chain roll. So keep it up. Things are good, man. I mean, it's the last month of the year. We gear up for a new year, 2025, and but I want to just take my time through December. I don't want 24 to go just like that. At this point, it already has. But let's just take our time in the month of December for 25 to get here.
I know that's right because we ain't got much time. So again, you guys, make sure y'all come in, like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and do all that. We ain't gonna prolong the show. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. We're gonna first preview. We're gonna actually we ain't gonna preview. We're gonna talk about what happened actually on Turkey Day. We had some action. We had some pretty decent games, Mike. We had some drama. We had some coach get fired. And we had all that and then some. So let's go ahead and start off with this Lions 23-20 win over the Bears. The Lions are now 11-1. The Bears dropped to 4-8. Mike, your thoughts on the first game of the triple header on Thanksgiving Day?
Well, what looked like it was going to be a rout for Detroit against Chicago, it was a respectable game. And, I guess it's true that when you're playing somebody in your conference or in your division, that's really tough sled to pull there because Chicago on paper had no business being in that game, but it also gave Caleb Williams kind of show his stuff a little bit more. So I've kind of turned the corner on him. I think he's going to be a good quarterback. He has to get some development, obviously. So hopefully whoever they bring in next, they can do that. But no, I thought it was a good game. Detroit, the one thing about Detroit, they take the best punch. They got a chin, man. They proved that against the Texans weeks ago. They did that again this past holiday when they played Chicago. So they a bad team, man. They a bad team.
And I'm glad you brought up Caleb Williams because he had a very lethargic first half. He wasn't doing very much. Well, part of it, he was getting sacked. First of all, the Detroit Lions sacked him 5 times. But Williams ended up with 20 or 39 for 256 yards, 3 touchdowns. And that second half, he showed some signs, just like you said, man. I think the kid is going to be okay. But again, now they got to figure out how they're going to move forward because they got rid of their head coach. And let's go ahead and talk about that. That was the big thing about his time management. Matt Eberflus, he flucked it up. I said fluck, guys. I said flucked. He flucked it up. Man, what was you I'm watching this series. I'm like, why are they not using that timeout? Mike, what was your thoughts?
Well, let's go back to Caleb Williams. There would have been a growth factor there if he just took the ball in his own hands and timeout. Because if he didn't like what he was now, he's not at fault in anything. Caleb's not at fault for anything. But he was trying to get everybody hustled in, and then it probably didn't dawn on him. I can call a timeout, but he knows his place. Now, trust me, in the future, he'll do a better job of that because he's already experienced losing that way because of chaos. Right. Now, let's go back to Eberflus. Dude, I don't even know how he got the job. He gets beat up every week. I'm like,
Right.
well,
Right.
how this dude get this job? Because you talk about the Hail Mary. I saw a crazy stat in one score games. I mean, there is it's tremendously under
Yeah.
500. Just a
Right.
bunch of different things that have come about not because of the talent of his team, but because of bad decision making from him and his staff.
Yeah.
And this guy that got in as the interim, I know he was the I guess QB or the OC or whatever.
Thomas
Um,
Brown, I think. I think his
Thomas
name is
Brown,
Thomas
yeah, Thomas
Brown. Yeah.
Brown.
Hmm.
Now he's auditioning, I guess you could say. You
Right.
know, um,
Mhm.
but yeah, I think Eberflus. I don't think he'll get another job because when he answers the question as to why during the post game, he gives the wrong answer. He
Right.
makes the wrong moves and he gives the wrong answers. Like, wow, dude, you are digging a hole for yourself. He might get on as an assistant somewhere, but I don't it'd be a long time before you see him as a head coach again.
Yeah, and we were talking backstage, and I said that technically the Lions actually didn't help. They actually got him fired because if you didn't know, the Lions were 2 for 5 in the red zone. One of those, they were about to go in for a touchdown. Jameer Gibbs fumbled the ball. I think this was before half, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
If you take that, if they would have converted those 5 trips probably into touchdowns, we wouldn't even be talking about Eberflus having to make this dumb non-call by not calling the timeout. He probably would still be hired, but that still have a job. But he could have been fired at the end of the season. But I don't think he would have been fired the next day if the Lions probably would have took care of business and not made this game as close as it ended up, in my opinion.
No, that's a good point you make because if it's a route, it's just another loss and you move on. But when you had a chance to
Mm-hmm.
put yourself in position to win, because the job of the coaches is to put their team in the best possible position to win a game. That's what their job is.
Right.
And he, I mean, what was it 45 or 32 seconds? What was
It
left?
was 30. It was 32 seconds left.
32 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So someone
Mm-hmm.
said 45. I was like, nah, I think it was less than
No,
that,
it
but
was less than that. Yeah, it was 32.
still a manageable time. I mean,
Right.
hey, look what the Chiefs did 2 years ago, 13 seconds. All
Right.
right. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And
Yeah.
if you practice that kind of stuff, I heard a former player say, Bill Belichick, they practice that kind of stuff. So as soon as that scenario comes up, everybody knows their place. They know
Right.
exactly what to do. And I just think Eberflus needs to go to head coaching school and spend 3 years there and come back. You didn't come back and see what he can do.
Hey, send him to the UFL, whatever the name of that league
Yeah,
is.
right,
Play
right,
rock and
right.
ice. Yeah. So anyway, so the Lions they improved 11-1. They the number 1 seed right now in the NFC. It's looking pretty good. Again, the Bears fall to 4-8, and we'll see what this interim coach Thomas Brown will get these guys ready for the rest of the season. We got hilarious Alec over there said, "Go Chiefs, Mike." I had to tell my guy, Michael Coleman, sports director at KOTV. He is a Kansas City Chiefs fan, and he's from that area. So we got a Chiefs fan over here on TikTok, Mike, rocking with you.
Solid,
Yeah,
solid,
solid.
solid.
All right. Now let's go to that middle game. Let's go to the Cowboys and the Giants. And I did not know what to expect from this game, Mike, to be perfectly honest with you. I expected the Cowboys to win, but I thought this game would probably be kind of ugly. It wasn't as ugly as I expected, but yeah, it had its moments. Your
Yeah.
thoughts on the Cowboys and the Giants?
Well, it was a competitive game, 27-20.
Yeah.
You know, they found a run game on that day with Rico.
Mm-hmm.
And CD, obviously he's hurt and he's not comfortable. And because their best weapon was Brandon Cooks offensively in the air, you
Right.
know. Uh and Rush is playing with a little bit more confidence, a little bit more, not much more. But defense is the one that kept this team in the game. They had the spark
Yeah.
because our guy,
Yeah.
he's our native, DeMarvion Overshown. I've never seen this play performed before, where you block the pass and tip it to yourself and you score and you go.
Mm-hmm.
Great. He should have been, and he recovered a fumble. He forced him to recover the fumble.
Right.
That he should have been the turducken MVP as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
But it obviously. So now it's so funny how 1 week people can talk about how bad the Cowboys are, they're going to miss the playoffs, and how one game the conversation turns to, oh, they could make the playoffs. They're not going to the playoffs. They
No,
are
they
not going to the playoffs. I'm not. I mean, y'all can just forget that.
right,
Um,
right.
they just have to, keep their head above water, and
Yeah.
that's what they need to do. Um, I just don't think that they can overcome a lot on their plate to get to the
Mhm.
postseason. It's a lot of work to do, and I don't think they're cut out for that.
Yeah, it's a lot of work to do, man. And speaking of that Dallas defense, they had 6 sacks. Michael Parsons had 1.5, and they were just all over the game again. And I said this last week against the Commanders. The Cowboys finally played with some pride, some
Yeah,
passion, and you saw that, and it carried over. Again, this Giants team isn't very good, but they still professionals. I mean, they still dealing with they Daniel losing 8 franchise quarterback. So
yeah.
now, this Cowboy that Giants franchise is in flux as well, man. So again, the Cowboys had to do what they had to do. And by the way, I don't know if you saw the ratings for this, Mike. That game was 38.5 million people watched the Cowboys Giants game. It's the 4th most watched Thanksgiving game in NFL history, and it's actually the most watched game of 2024.
Wow.
Go figure.
Well, listen, those are the numbers Jerry really likes.
Yeah.
You can't, those numbers that you just told me, you can't
Mhm.
tell Jerry nothing. Yeah, so don't be talking about he needs a new GM. Nah, he really don't. I mean, his
Yeah.
purpose is being served.
Right.
It's being served, and
Mhm.
I didn't know those numbers, but I wasn't. But I'm not surprised. I mean, yeah, Bears, Lions, okay,
Right.
Packers, Dolphins, but
Yeah.
Cowboys,
Yeah.
and you got a New York market too, a New York
Yeah.
team from a New York market, and Dallas Cowboys. That's gonna get some eyeballs, man.
It's gonna get some eyeballs, and it did. And Dom over there says, "Do you think Cardinals beat Vikings today?" Mike, do you think the Cardinals gonna beat the Vikings today?
Woo. Nah, I
I
don't
don't.
think so, but I think they're gonna put a scare in them.
I agree. I'm with Mike, Dom. We don't think they will, but we think it'll be scary. It'll be tight, nip and tuck there for a minute. Yeah, so I don't think that's gonna happen. Let's talk about the Marvion Overshawn real quick and then we'll end with the Packers and the Dolphins. Mike, you've covered this young fella. He's from straight out of East Texas, ARP, Texas. If you want to know where ARP is roughly 15, 20 minutes outside of Tyler, Texas, which is roughly an hour and 45 minutes from the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Uh, and we were talking about Michael Parsons, who the Cowboys they're gonna have to either decide to open a bank to him or franchise him or possibly use him as a trade bait. With this kid, the Marvion Overshawn, playing like he is, could you see the Cowboys trying to trade Michael Parsons?
Well, that's a very good question because you can get a lot from Michael Parsons.
You get a lot.
You can get a bag of gold for this guy. Um, I I don't think I don't think that's a move they'll entertain. Now the longer it takes for them to sign him, and because one thing about him, he don't mind popping off at the lip.
No, he
You
don't.
know?
That
And
podcast, yeah, he
yeah,
definitely don't.
so the more he pops off at the lip in this scenario that where he's like, "Where's my money?" and he's talked about it before.
Mhm.
He's talked about it before. It'd be wise for him if he wants to stay in Dallas to tone it down. We already know the kind of guy you are with the podcaster. They're not saying stop it, because you're not going to do that. Just kind of know your leverage. You know, you're on your first contract. Is it first contract, right?
Yeah, this will be his first one.
His
Yeah,
first,
yeah,
he's
this
on his
is.
first contract, and you're
Mhm.
not going to outdo Jerry Jones. Only a handful of players have done that, and that includes Dak. All
Right,
right, you
right.
know. As for the emergence of our guy number 13, you think about it, and we talked about it a while back because he was hurt last year. They kind of, and although it's only his second year in the league, he's kind of like a rookie in a matter of sense in terms of playing. That was his
Yeah,
first
right,
Thanksgiving
right.
Day game, but he's a knowledgeable air quotes rookie. So
Yeah,
it's red shirt. Let's do it that way.
yeah,
Uh, but as long as he continues to grow, man, I mean, his name's been. You hear his name during the broadcast of these games. You hear his name quite often and frequently. I think you will see a whole lot more of that with him. He's so athletic
yeah,
and he's
very.
so fast. I mean,
Yeah,
he's just and he
yeah,
knows the game. He knows the game inside out. And
yeah.
you know what? And there says a lot about him playing at a high level at the University of Texas. You know,
Mhm.
that's All that stuff comes into a play for him, and we're just now beginning to see this whole thing pay off for him. We're a year late, but he might not have done that much last year.
That's
But
true.
I,
That's
I
true.
think sitting out and learning more about
Yeah,
the game, learning more about the NFL,
that
he's
helped
gonna
him.
be
Yeah.
he's gonna be a bad dude, man. He's gonna be that
Yeah.
dude.
And we're talking about DeMarvion Overshawn, the linebacker for Dallas. We got a Detroit Lions football fan asking us, Mike, what is your favorite college football team? My favorite college football team actually is the Florida State Seminoles, and I know they suck, but I became a fan of theirs when Charlie Ward won the Heisman. If you know your history, he was actually the Heisman Trophy winner that did not get drafted by the
Yep.
NFL, and he went to go on to play for the New York Knicks for 10 plus years. Mike, who's your I already know, but
Well,
Detroit
it'll be.
Lions football fan want to know what's your favorite
I
college
got two
football
of them. I got the one, the school I played for, Southern Illinois University,
team?
and the Kansas Jayhawks. My very first sports job was selling sodas at KU football games. I call that a sports job, and that's what it was. And that's when I had puberty, and I was sounding like Eddie Kendricks yelling, "Coke, get your ice cold Coke." I was like 11 years old then, and and also the history of the sport, or of the school exactly. Gail Sayers, Jesse, JoJo White, Wilt Chamberlain, guys like that came through Kansas. So when I was a little boy, those are the cats that I used to hear about and read about through my uncles and my old man. So it'd be those two schools right there. Good
Yeah,
question, I think.
yeah, that was a good question, Detroit Lions fan. Michael says that the Kansas Jayhawks and his alma mater, the Southern Illinois Salukis. Am I right, Mike? The
That's
Salukis.
right. That's
All
right.
right.
That's right.
So there you go, Detroit football fan. All right, real quick. Y'all know what? Y'all know my saying. Let me say it before I even get started. It's always a great day to be what? A Green Bay Packer fan. And it was a great day on Sunday night. We got the W over the Dolphins 30-17. I picked that. I thought it wasn't going to be close. Jordan Love did not throw an interception in this game. This is the second game he hadn't thrown a pick, which I applaud that young fella. He threw for 274 yards, 2 touchdowns. The Packers ran the football pretty good. They got 114 yards rushing. Mike, I didn't get to watch this game because I had to go to sleep because I had to be work early. Your thoughts, just real quick, on the Packers and Dolphins, if you got.
Well, let's just face it. Let's just face it. Anytime Miami is going somewhere where it's cold, I already spot the opposition 14 points.
Yeah, that's a
They
wrap.
already go down 2 touchdowns behind.
Yeah,
But here's what I don't understand. They're not all from Miami. That's the thing right there. These players are from around the country.
right.
And we in the media, we'd say, "Oh, Miami," but it's just a weird dichotomy there because those cats don't come and weren't born and bred in Florida. They come from all over, but something about playing, the best Miami team in history was one's unbeaten. They'll play you anywhere. Hot,
Right.
cold, whatever. The one that went, like I said, the one that went, the 72 team. But I tell you what, I like Tua's game.
Mm-hmm.
When he gets protection,
He's
that
on.
boy, he's a pinpoint
Yeah,
passer, man.
he threw for 365 and 2 touchdowns.
He's tough, man. He's tough. I just think I just think Green Bay was a bit much for them. That's that. Yeah, weather. I'm joking with that some part of it, but I don't think the weather was a big factor.
Right.
I just think Green Bay is just that good, and Miami. They're going to make the playoffs. I really believe they'll make the playoffs. I mean,
Ooh,
they
they're gonna
look
need
like
some help, Mike. We're gonna
they're
talk
going to
about
need some
playoff
help.
positions. They're gonna need some help. Yeah, but we're
So
gonna
yeah,
talk
but
about that too.
kudos to Green Bay. Kudos to Green Bay.
Yeah, so those were the Thanksgiving recaps. Now we're just gonna talk about the one big game today. Let's go ahead and get into it, Mike. We got the Ravens and the Eagles at the 325 window, and we got. And you brought this up. We got the 2 running backs that were basically kicked out the door by both their teams. And
Yeah.
and quite frankly, these 2 running backs, especially one of them, is in the MVP talk. And I'm talking about Eagles running back Saquon Barkley. This is going to be a heavy hitter, man. Mike, what's your whole thoughts on this Ravens-Eagles matchup?
Well, I think we're going to see some fun play. I mean, these 2 brothers, Hurts and Lamar, they're going to have good games. I think they are. They're going to be able to showcase. They get because both these quarterbacks don't get a whole lot of love. They really don't. You
They
think
don't.
about it. I mean, they
Right.
get beat up quite a bit from the media, and they end up getting proven wrong. The thing that scares me about the Ravens, they don't know how to use Derrick Henry. Yeah, it's like
Mm,
well, 2 weeks ago, whatever game that was, they didn't run him a whole lot. I think they
yeah.
got the memo now. I think they got the memo now. So but I just think I think that I know we're gonna do our picks later. I think Philadelphia, they got something to prove. They got
Yeah.
something to prove. Everybody loves Baltimore. And if you got
Mm,
Saquon Barkley, you're supposed to make some things happen. Let's see if they can continue that trek,
mm,
playing big name teams, playing powerful teams, and you can outdo them or match them on the field and pull out a win. We're going to see that. So I think I don't know. As I say pressure, I don't think anybody's under any pressure because those two
right.
teams know who they are. It's just a
Right.
matter of it's going to be a chess game between the
Mm,
coaching staffs of Philadelphia and Baltimore and knowing when to run Derrick Henry. Now, Eagles have no problem running Saquon Barkley.
right.
He's part of the game plan from the jump.
Right.
But I think in order for Baltimore to have success, they got to get Derrick Henry involved early. Get him in
Ah,
there early.
run it. Run that
Don't
horse.
put him in there trying to play. Don't try to run him if you fall behind. You
Right.
know too much that you have to start throwing the ball. Not
Yeah.
that Lamar can't because we know he can, but don't put Lamar in that position.
Yeah.
Don't put
Yeah.
him in that position. Use Derrick Henry. Use what you got. Use that 6 shooter. See what you got.
Yeah. And the Eagles again, Eagles at 9-2. Just a couple of weeks ago, Mike, people were kind of whispering that Nick
Yeah,
Sirianni may be on the hot seat. I
yeah,
think he had a blow up with some fans or something that happened a
yeah,
couple of weeks ago, and now this team I think they've won like 7 straight, something like that, and they're
yeah,
sitting
man.
9-2.
They're on a
Yeah,
roll. And I
they
do
are.
remember the talking about Sirianni and all. I said, people, y'all need to just relax.
I
You know,
know, man.
if fans actually could call the plays and own a team, they'd be gone in 2 weeks every time.
They would be gone. They'd be out of there.
Every time you're gonna be
Yeah,
gone. So what happened? Well, he's a fan that gave him a shot, and we done been through 5 fans. But if we skip that one coach, we'd be
right.
4-1, 5-0. So yeah,
Right. You're right. So that's the big game. We also got a big AFC North showdown. Real quick, the Steelers 8-3 at the Bengals 4-7. That's a noon game. The Bengals are still kind of outside trying to see if they can make it into this thing as a wild card. The Steelers, they trying to stay that one. What I think they're 1.5 game ahead of the Ravens
yeah,
right now
yeah,
because
yeah.
of that win they got. That's gonna be a big matchup too. Between you see Russell Wilson and what's Joe Burrow. He's been putting up numbers, but god dang it, the
Joe
Bengals have
been putting up some numbers. Joe,
they've been coming up short, but he been putting up the numbers though. You
I
know,
have a lot of respect for him. He's a good quarterback.
yeah, he's a good quarterback. So that's another big showdown we got in the early window. So those are just some of the matchups that you can look forward to today in week 13. Again, we only got like 5 more weeks left in this season. Now, real quick, NFL news and notes. We kind of already talked about this. Bears fire head coach Matt Eberflus. He was 4-8 this season and 14-32 overall in nearly 3 seasons with the Bears. And check this out, Mike. He is the first head coach in team history to be fired in the season. That long-standing history of the Chicago Bears, they have never fired a coach in season. Even Lovie Smith was fired, which
After the season.
still trying to figure it out without. Because
I
since
know.
he's been gone, since they fired him, every coach hadn't had any success, but Matt Nagy just a little bit. John Fox had a horrible record. Obviously, you had Eberflus right here. All the coaches that had followed Lovie Smith have not done well and have been fired. So there you have it.
And look how many coaches they've been through since Lovie Smith.
Been through quite a few. Yeah.
They've been through quite a few coaches.
They've been through a lot, Mike. So that's some of that news. Also, 49er fans out there, looks like you're gonna have starting quarterback Brock Purdy is gonna play versus the Bills. That's a tough one that they got tonight. That's a Sunday night game. But Nick Bosa is still out, and their starting cornerback is gonna be out as well. So the 49ers, they beat up like like the Saints and like the Cowboys, but they still got to keep plugging along. So anyway, those were some of the news and notes from around the league. All right, Mike, let's go ahead and get down to it. Let's get down to our picks. It's what we call Kendrick's NFL Pick 6, Week 13. Here are the games, Mike. I'm going to read them to you. Then I'm going to ask you Who you got? We got the Steelers 8-3 at the Bengals 4-7. We got the Seahawks 6-5 at the Jets 3-8. We got the Titans 3-8 at the Commanders 7-5. We got the Texans 7-5 at the Jaguars 2-9. We got the Eagles again 9-2 at the Ravens 8-4. And we got the Sunday night game, the 49ers 5-6 at the Bills 9-2. Mike, who you got? Steelers at Bengals.
I'm going with the Steelers. They got to make up for that last time out. That last game they played that they bungled it. Is who's starting at QB?
I'm thinking Russell Wilson is. I hadn't saw anything.
Okay. 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 But no, I'm gonna go with Steelers. I'm gonna go boo-wee. Probably in cold weather in that part of the country. But Steelers are born to play in cold weather. They don't care.
Right.
I'm gonna go 17-9.
Mike going with the
Pittsburgh.
Steelers. He's going with the Steelers 17-9. I am going with the Bengals 27-17.
Okay.
All right, let's go with the Seahawks 6-5, who are in that NFC West division. Is packed tighter than a can of sardines because they're all right there together. Seahawks 6-5 at the New York Jets. That is, I don't know what to make of that team. They're 3-8. Mike, who you got?
We haven't talked about the Jets. I'm talking about the national folks in quite a while. They'll be talking about them tomorrow because they're gonna get beat up today. Seahawks are going to win that game 31-20. And that 20 is going to come late in the game, because they don't talk about the Jets no more. They were talking about them and Aaron Rodgers, and they ain't getting no kind of airtime.
Well, Mike is going with the Seahawks 31-20. I'm actually going with the Jets 21-15. Don't know why. I just think it's in New York. I think maybe they may come out and play with a little passion, so to speak. Hey, what's up, classmate? Marla over there. She talking about boo. Hey. It's always a great day, classmate, to be a Packer fan. Come on, join the band. We're gonna let you in the band. All right. We got the Titans 3-8, who got that big win over the Texans last week at the Commanders 7-5. They kind of tumbling. I think they've lost 3 straight now.
3 in a row.
Yeah, Mike, who you got? Titans 3-8 at the Commanders 7-5.
I'm gonna go with the Commanders. I don't think they're a 4-loss-in-a-row team. They got too much talent, that's real. They can definitely play with Tennessee as far as I'm concerned. I'm gonna go 29-14 Commanders.
Mike got 29-14. If y'all wonder who Mike is, I am joined with my good brother Michael Coleman. He is the sports director at the KLTV, the ABC affiliate in Tyler, Texas. All right, Mike, we on the same page. I'm going with the Commanders as well. I picked them 27-10. All right. Texans 7-5 at the Jaguars 2-9. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be back starting for the Jags today. I don't know if that's going to make much of a difference. The Texans are kind of reeling, Mike. They kind of up and down, man. Well, who you got? Texans at Jaguars.
Well, they're a young team. They're learning how to win. What they have to do is learn how to keep winning. For them to jump out on Detroit like they did and lose, that shows you they got firepower. That shows you they have team organizational skills that they know how to develop. And I think with their healthy receiver back, Nico, I think it might be his second game back, maybe.
Yeah, it is the second game back.
Second game back. But no, I'm going with all that. I'm going with the Texans just to blow out the Jacks. I'm going to go 35-14.
Mike going Texans, 35-14. I am too. This is AFC South showdown. Be honest with you, I thought the Texans were going to run away with this division. It's kind of close. I still think they'll win it, but I'm with you, Mike. I'm going with the Texans 30-21. Now, the big game we just got through talking about a little bit. The Eagles 9-2 at the Ravens 8-4. Mike, who you got?
Ooh, that dang Lamar Jackson. I bet the bookies go that damn Lamar Jackson. You don't know. He's so explosive and so.
I know.
I'm going to give him the benefit of a doubt. I'm going to give him the benefit of a doubt. I'm going to go the Baltimore Ravens are going to win 27-24.
Oh man, Mike, boy, we definitely on the same page, and I think this thing is going to be tight. I do, and
That
I'm
damn
going with
Lamar Jackson.
yeah, that damn Saquon Barkley too. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think it's gonna be that damn Lamar Jackson today. I'm going with the Ravens as well, 23-20. Now, the Sunday night game, the 49ers 5-6 at the Bills 9-2. Niners again, I said they beat up. They still on life support, maybe trying to see if they can win that NFC West. The Bills are quietly quiet as kept. They the number 2 seed right now in the AFC. They just plugging along. Mike, who you got? 49ers at Bills.
Yeah, the Niners all night gonna say, "Come on, Josh, don't be so rough." Josh gonna be on this game tonight. It's kind of weather for him and all that. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go them winning like 31-20.
Okay, Mike got Buffalo 31-20. And I have those Bills too winning 27-16. So those are our Kendrick's pick six. I got to give you my record. Last week I went 4-2. So far this season, I am pretty damn good, 45-27. So
Look at you,
let's see if
man.
we can keep it up. All right, Mike, let's talk about playoff positions. I looked it up before we came on just to see where would teams be if the playoffs started today. The AFC playoff picture looks like this. The Chiefs are the 1 seed, and quite frankly, they've already clinched the
They've already
playoff
clinched.
berth
Yeah,
with
yeah,
that win over the Raiders. Number 2 is the Bills in the 2 seed. The Steelers are the 3 seed. The Texans are the 4 seed. The Ravens are the 5 seed, and the Chargers are the 6 seed. And the Broncos, quiet as kept, they would
yeah,
be the 7 seed at 7-5. Now these
yeah.
3 teams are on the outside looking in. They still got a shot. That's the Colts at 5-7, the Dolphins 5-7, and the Bengals 4-7. Michael, out of those 3 teams, do you think either one of them can get that 7th seed? That is the Colts, Dolphins, or the Bengals?
I'm gonna say, as I mentioned, I think the Dolphins can sneak in there. They can squeeze up there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, because you said that earlier. You thought that
Yeah,
they had a
yeah,
shot of getting in there.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. So, personally speaking, I think you're probably right. I think the Dolphins of all of those 3 probably would have a shot of getting into the playoffs, but they're gonna need some help. So we'll see. Now the NFC playoff seeding right now. The Lions are the 1 seed at 11-1. The Eagles are 2 seed at 9-2. The Seahawks, the 3 seed at 6-5. The Falcons, the 4th seed at 6-5. The Vikings, the 5th seed at 9-2. The Packers, the 6th seed at 9-3. And the 7th seed is the Commanders at 7-5. And these teams are on the outside looking in. The Cardinals 6-5, the Bucks 5-6, the Rams 5-6, the Niners 5-6, and the Cowboys 5-7. Outside of those 4 teams, Mike, who you think got a shot of getting that 7th seed out of those 4 teams?
I like how Baker Mayfield is playing, but
Mm-hmm.
then the Rams are the Rams, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with the Bucks. I'm gonna go with the Bucks.
And I was trying to look at some of these remaining schedules for these teams, and I'll be honest with you, the Niners got a hell of a remaining schedule. They got the Bears, then they got the Rams at the Dolphins, the Lions at the Cardinals. That's the Niners' remaining schedule. The Cowboys got the Bengals on Monday night, then at the Panthers, then they got the Bucks at the Eagles, and then the Commanders. The Rams got the Saints today, then they have the Bills at the Niners, at the Jets, Cardinals, and Seahawks. I think the Rams and Niners really got a tough schedule on the rest of the way. But if I had to pick any of those 5 teams, or what, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, that had a shot, I think it may be the Bucks just because of the NFC South. I think they could
Gotcha.
overtake. I think they could win that division over the Falcons and bump them out of there. So I think I'm with you too. I think the
Right.
Bucks have probably got the best shot of all those teams because I think the other ones they're gonna need a whole lot of help. The Bucks, all they got to do is win that division because we already
Yeah.
know one team
Yeah.
is coming out there, and
Yeah.
I think they can do that. So that's my thoughts on that. All right, Mike, freestyle moment. We getting down to our last segment of the show. What you got, brother?
Well, I got a chance. We talked about Overshown. I got a chance to see him a few days ago. He was in town, and I went to a party with a buddy of mine, and he was there with. And it was at Overshown's father's house, is where it was, and I met his father. Well, 3, 4 years ago, but we finally got a chance to engage. He's a really good dude. So DeMarvin and I were talking and whatnot, and I said, "Well, man, I saw that little celebration you did in the end zone." He goes, "Man, when I was running that ball, I had 10 yards to decide what it was I was going to do.
And it was a dope. That was a dope little dance he did too, by the way.
Yeah, he said, well, the electric slide. He's like, all I can do is electric slide. He's, I've been practicing all this time. I finally got a chance to do it. And then someone asked him, what that turducken tastes like? He said, it was dry, you know. He said, but I don't eat before a game, so I was hungry. So I said, well, I'll get something better later. But
I
that
know
was, it
that's
was good talking to him. Just a good kid, as you know. Now,
right.
and my next freestyle has nothing to do with sports.
Mm,
It's with his media.
gotcha. Okay.
Don't give me no more P. Diddy news until he gets out. I don't want to hear he got denied. Of course, he's going to be denied. When he gets out, that's going to be news, right? Am I
Right.
right?
You're
When he
right.
gets out,
You're right.
that's news. Now
You're
he
right.
got out. He gonna get denied. He's been denied 3 times at least. You talk to me again when he don't get denied. Then it becomes news.
Right, and I'm with you because you know what, Mike. I do not even. I see the headlines coming over the Mike's freestyle moment talking about P Diddy, and I'm with you. I don't even read it. I'm like,
Nope.
okay, well, you know what? Until
I
something
quit reading it.
else develops, I don't. I'm not even keeping up with. I don't keep up
Nope.
with it until
Nope.
something new
Nope.
come in,
It's
and that's funny.
it sells newspapers. It draws clicks
Yeah,
and
clicks,
all that
yeah,
stuff,
and
and it's
views and
all
all that.
regurgitate. It's just regurgitation.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
nothing new in it, you
right.
know. And all these
Mhm.
people who's like, well, I knew back then, 2023. Well, I don't want to hear none of that.
Yeah,
Because,
yeah,
my thing is this. I don't know if he did or didn't do it. He probably did something. But
yeah. Mhm.
Hollywood, that world, is
Yes.
notorious for having lack of morals or whatever, or bad judgment or doing their thing.
Yep,
You know,
Hollyweird is what I call it.
well,
But
yeah, and
yeah,
he didn't come up with the idea. He
right,
just went with the flow. Now, some things you can't do because you don't
right.
look like some of these people who get away with stuff.
That's right. I
Don't
agree.
don't
Yeah,
mistake a pat on the back like I'm in because you will never be in.
you'll never be in.
You will never be in.
You're
So
never part
that's
of the
that's
Brat
my
Pack.
thing.
I hear
Yeah.
you. And we're gonna stay with the media. I saw a mic drop moment for Coach Prime uh
Okay.
after their big win over Oklahoma State. The reporter from the Denver Post is what it's called. Is his name Sean Keeler?
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, Coach Prime's. It was one reporter that was getting ready to ask him a question. Then Coach Prime there, he saw Keely. He said, "No, no, no." He said, "Hold on." He said, "Hey, get a mic to the guy behind you." He said, "No, no, not you. The guy." He's talking about Sean Keeler.
Right.
So he said, "Okay, my man, what you got?" Keeler wouldn't say anything. Mike said, Coach Prime said, "I'm waiting." He said, "Okay, all right, God bless." He said, "See," he said, "This is Thanksgiving." He said, "I'm trying to start our relationship on a different note, but hey, that's my opportunity. God bless." So if you don't know, I'm saying this because Sean Keeler has wrote a lot of. I think he crossed the line in some of his articles on Coach Prime, calling him uh, uh, some of these names he was calling him.
Yeah.
If you would have kept the name calling out, I wouldn't have had a problem with him writing about Coach Prime in this program. But when you resort to that as a media member, I think you're crossing the line, in my opinion. And
Well,
Sean Keeler got what he deserved. He got what he
if
deserved, and he should have.
if it's Bill Parcells doing it, it's okay,
That's true because he
right?
used
Am I
to
right?
do it. He used to do it. You're right.
He used to do it. He used to do it.
Belichick too.
Hey, and Jimmy Johnson was no easy day at the Bark either. I mean,
Right,
Jimmy, he'd tell you what he felt, but the criticism wasn't what Dion gets, and Dion's been criticized his whole life.
right.
He ain't worried about nothing. But I did read that. And it's like he said, "Yeah, Thanksgiving." See, he extended the olive branch, you
Yeah,
know.
he
But
did.
I think old dude, he convinced himself he was being shown up by Dion. You're gonna always be shown up by Dion. When he walks
Yeah,
and says hello to you, you're gonna be shown up by him. That's just the way it is.
he commands the room. That's just the way it is.
Well,
Yeah,
that and you know what? He also commanded the room when he was a player.
yeah.
He he had more power, more leverage now as the coach.
Right.
But as a player, there's nothing new about Dion.
It's nothing at
There's
all.
nothing new about Dion.
I don't know why people don't get it. This is who he's been. It's his
Right.
whole career.
And it's been accepted because you can't he never had you think about all the things that he's done, in terms of an athlete. He's
Right.
never failed. I mean, baseball players fail and get paid a whole bunch of money. All right,
They
at the
do.
back at the plate.
Mhm.
He ain't never failed.
Right.
And they don't get that. They can't because see, they've been brainwashed. I love some folks in the media and just people in general, they're brainwashed to think that if a guy speaks his mind and he's flashy or he's deemed what they think is flashy and he has success, he's
He's
a bad guy.
arrogant. He's arrogant, and
He's
I don't
arrogant,
like him. Yeah,
this and that. Yeah, and it's like y'all need to get over it. You need to get
yeah.
over it because who was that? I can't remember. There's a line. There's a skit Eddie Murphy does where he's dressed like the white guy. You seen that?
Yes, I have. I know
And
what
then he
skit you're talking
says, he's at the barbershop and he says, y'all better get ready. There's a whole bunch of us. And they're doing like this, That's the way he's replying. Because more and more NFL players are getting jobs as head coaches at the HBCUs, and that's the door opener. Dude, I'm telling you, he is laying the foundation for NFL owners. If you want to win quick or relatively quick, and in high colleges too. So I hope he stays in college. I think he will. But yeah.
I think he will too. Matt Vitale asks, do you have the Buffalo Bills or the 49ers winning? No, me and Michael, we both have the Buffalo Bills winning over the 49ers. Jay Clifton, 23, Baker or Herbert. I think that's he's talking about fantasy football. I would probably go with Baker. I think Baker Mayfield will have a pretty good game today. All right, so that's been our show today, Mike. Before we get out of here, I got to ask you about Beast Texas football because it's still a lot of these teams are what? It's regional semi. Is it regional finals?
No, this is the regionals now. This is the regionals now.
Okay. What we got?
Longview got in yesterday.
Okay.
We got a running back, Boosie Washington. I mean, he ain't no joke. He just our good friend Arthur just sent me a note. He just broke
I saw that. Was it
Tally? Tally's Fred Tally. And what's funny is I'm trying to find the interview. We had him as we featured him. And I said, what do you know about Fred Tally? Oh, man, he's a dog, man. He's a dog. I said, well, are you a dog? No, because I ain't wrote no records yet. Well, now he's officially a dog, and I'm going to try to find that. But so Longview took care of Klein College, which, I looked up their record. They just 7-5 coming in. So they won they took third in their district. Okay. And so they got that far. You've got Van and Carthage and Pine Tree on Friday night. You've got not Gilmer, they're out. Chapel Hill and Kilgore and Forney Friday. That's going to be, those two teams, their fans, they follow very well. So you can count on that happening. Yeah. And host of others, Malakoff, took care of their business over Jefferson, and Marshall just didn't have the juice against South Oak Cliff. That's a whole different area for them guys. So we still rolling along. We still got a handful of teams in the mix, and we'll follow them to the end, man.
Yeah, make sure y'all follow my brother Michael Coleman. You can check him out on the Red Zone app, KLTV, KTRE. You can get it free on your app store. Make sure you keep up with high school football, college football, NFL, because it's a lot of players come out of this area that makes it to the college level and the pros. So make sure you download that free app in your app store. And if you want to, you can check out his sports stuff at KLTV.com. All right, Mike, I'm going to let you get out of here, man. And enjoy the rest of your football Sunday, and we'll keep rocking. All right?
All right, baby. Talk to you.
All right, peace. Again, that was my good brother, Michael Coleman, sports director, KLTV, the ABC affiliate in Tyler, Texas. Again, I am Kendrick, the sports guy. I want to thank everybody that popped in over here on TikTok. Jay Clifton and all you guys, all that people that watch, make sure you follow me right here on TikTok, here on YouTube and Facebook. Make sure you follow me as well. Subscribe to the channel. Share this to all your social media platforms if you don't mind. And again, keep it locked here for all your sports news, live streams, and sports entertainment. So again, my name is Kendrick, the sports guy. You can catch me here every Sunday morning at 10:30 a.m. giving you your pregame NFL stuff. So again, you all enjoy the rest of your Sunday and have a good week. We will see you on the other side. And on the next report, I am out. Peace.